Hello fellow coffee botherers, in this video we're going to be talking about the Ninja Luxe Cafe again. And I say again because I've done a few videos on the Ninja Luxe since it was released. If you've not seen them, see the playlist in the description. I've had an increasing number of people contacting me to tell me they're struggling with poor tasting espresso with the Luxe, and usually the complaint is that the espresso is overly bitter. And I think I know what's going on. In fact, I think there are 3 very common issues people are experiencing from the emails I'm getting on a daily basis. Issue number 1. Your Ninja is faulty. On some machines, including this one, the strength or ratio setting doesn't work as intended or only works intermittently. The dose weight is usually 18 grams for a double shot. The EU model, and so far all the machines I've heard of with this issue has been the EU model, handles the ratio via the strength setting. Setting 3 dots means 1 to 2, which means you should end up with about 36 grams of espresso. Setting 2 should be about 1 to 2.5, and setting 1 should be 1 to 3. What I'm finding with this one is that the shot volume and therefore the ratio is hit and miss, occasionally giving me a much bigger shot volume. So put on a 1 to 2 ratio, just on setting 3. Get in you. 1 to 2 ratio, my eye, 1 to 50. It looks really cool though. There are all the scales. Ah. Yeah, roughly 80 mil that. So 1 to 4, more than 1 to 4.5, something like that. 1 to 2. The fix. Get some scales. Any kitchen scales will do, or inexpensive coffee scales. They don't need to be crazy expensive scales. I mean, what idiot would spend hundreds on coffee scales? Is it a Kai Luna shot? Yeah. You just move it out from it, please. Weigh your shots and just press the button to stop the shot at your desired volume. For example, about 36 grams if you're aiming for a 1 to 2 ratio. I deliberately didn't stop the shot just to show you what not to do. Don't forget to stop the shot.
You forget to stop the shot.
But it stopped it. This is a good example. That stopped at 58 grams. So now I'm going to show you what you should actually do, which is to stop the shot, not to daydream and forget what you're doing. Yeah, I didn't stop it quite quick enough. But 38.
Slurp.
It's dull and bitter.
Long slurp.
That's way more interesting. Way more intense. If you find your machine does have this issue, it's completely up to you. You can either do what I do, stop the shot manually, or contact Ninja and ask them to swap it. You might not even realise they've done it. They're ninjas. I'll put links in the description to coffee scales that don't cost hundreds of pounds or dollars. There'll be affiliate links, so if you buy using these links, you'll be supporting the channel. Thanks! By the way, if you wanted a quick and free way to support the channel, just have a quick look down here, and if the button says subscribe, just click it and it'll change to subscribed. It costs you nothing and it's really helpful. So if you've just done that, I'm very grateful. Cheers! If you want to go even further, you can become an official coffee botherer, which gives you early access to videos, members-only content, members' shoutouts, and even exclusive members-only emojis. Wow! All for the measly price of $1.99 a month. If you've recently become a member, stick around to the end for your 5 seconds of fame and for some very interesting coffees. Issue number 2. You're trusting the barista assistants too much. What you have to remember when you're using a machine with barista assistance is it can only go from shot time, so it's a one-size-fits-all approach. It's not going to be perfect. You might find that with certain beans, in particular medium dark roast espresso blends, the grind size suggested is perfect, but with some it'll be a bit out. The fix. In most cases, with freshly roasted coffee beans, going 1 or 2 settings finer than suggested should do the trick. In some cases though, particularly with darker roasts and with Brazilian beans, which can be more porous and quite easy to extract, you might find that you need to go slightly coarser. So it's just a case of experimenting. If you have Seaworks dark chocolate and hazelnut Brazil, by the way, you'll want to go something like 2 to 3 settings coarser, as this bean is really easy to extract. This is probably a good time to hear from our sponsor. The sponsor this week was supposed to be a brand of blenders, but they liquidated. So this week's sponsor is me. My coffee beans from the Coffee Works are all freshly roasted. We have a section dedicated to the beans that are suitable for the Ninja Luxe at cworks.co.uk/NL. And if you're a new customer, use the discount code YT25 at cworks.co.uk for 25% off your first order. Issue number 3, using the wrong beans. Don't use Heinz baked beans. That would be so weird.
We should do a taster of that at the end.
Yeah. How do you know it's not going to be that?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. The first thing you'll notice when you open the various manuals that come with the Luxe, including the glossy recipe guide, is that you need freshly roasted coffee beans. But if you're switching over to freshly roasted beans and you're used to buying medium roasts, you could be ending up with beans that aren't really suitable for the Ninja Luxe. With freshly roasted beans, medium is generally quite a lot lighter roasted, and it's not just the roast level. The kind of beans you're likely to get when you go for medium roast will often be quite different. So if you're used to buying medium roast beans from the supermarket, you might be used to seeing... Oh, what the heck?
What?
Just have a look at this. Is there a problem with this? With this bean? Costa Coffee?
It's a stone.
It's raw.
Oh, what?
They're giving us a green bean. Forgetting that little raw bean. If you're used to medium roast from the supermarket, oops, that's kind of what you'll tend to get. So this is our new marzipan truffle blend, which is what we would call medium. A lot of freshly roasted medium roast are quite dense and difficult to extract, mainly due to being grown higher and being roasted lighter. If you're wondering why some people spend thousands on machines like the Decent D1, for example, and several hundred, sometimes even thousands on grinders too, usually it's to allow them to get great results with lighter roasts. If you're buying medium roast, freshly roasted beans, and if you're finding it tastes weirdly tangy and acidic, this is probably why. The Ninja Luxe isn't really up to the challenge that these kind of beans pose. So if you're accustomed to buying medium roast, normal, not freshly roasted coffee beans, I'd recommend looking for medium dark or dark roast freshly roasted beans. As I may have already mentioned, we have a whole category at cworks.co.uk dedicated to beans that I've tested with the Luxe at cworks.co.uk/NL, just in case I forget to mention that. I bet you can't guess what this is after me asking you, making sure you're not allergic to peanuts.
Yes. Cheers.
Bottoms up.
Cheers, everyone.
Mmm. Wow.
Two different reactions.
I really like that. That is amazing. That's
coffee smoothie, and it's banana,
oh, right.
and
That's the fruit I'm getting.
peanut butter.
First one for me, 10 out of 10.
Really?
100%. That is, wow. It's so different to anything I've ever tried before.
5 for me.
5!
And 10.
I
enjoy
did
that.
4 there. That's 5.
I like how thick it is
I mean,
as well.
I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't ready for the thickness.
Thank you very much for watching, and a special thank you to all the new channel members. If you want to join in the fun, click the join button down here somewhere by my right foot. Does that work? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to support the channel by clicking the subscribe button to make it change to subscribed. And also, liking and commenting help too. Another way to subscribe is to click on my face. That face, not this face. Tatty bye!